Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching The World Is Not Enough by Michael Apted, starring Pierce Brosnan. The last film we reviewed was Tomorrow Never Dies, which was very entertaining but clearly not the best Bond film. As a matter of fact, none of the Bond films I've seen so far have been outright bad. They're almost always entertaining at least, but some of them do get a little silly, if you know what I mean. I don't know what to expect from this one, The World Is Not Enough, except that it stars Denise Richards. She was so popular back in the day, and I can clearly see why. And I have been warned that she might not be the best Bond girl. So far, we'll have to judge that for ourselves. I know that this one isn't based on any Ian Fleming novel, but Brosnan as Bond really grew on me over the last two movies, especially GoldenEye, which was very good. So I'm looking forward to some good old-fashioned 90s spy action thriller. With hopefully some world domination plot elements which make these films so much more fun. If you guys are unaware, I'm making my way through the entire Bond franchise on the channel. I've been doing that for almost like 7 months now. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the rest, and I'll leave a link up there somewhere to every single Bond film released so far. I'll also be watching the unofficial films after being done with the main ones. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 190 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly posts for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications to check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. The World Is Not Enough, Michael Apted, Brosnan. Let's go. Okay, so this Bond film starts with another cold open. Oh, we're in Spain for the first time, I think.
So good of you to come see me, Mr. Bond, particularly on such short notice.
Can't trust a Swiss banker. What's the world come to?
Swiss bankers have quite the reputation.
Would you like to check my figures?
Oh, I'm sure they're perfectly rounded.
I'm sure it is.
Well, perhaps you failed to take into account my hidden assets.
She was playing with the glasses for way too long for it not to be a gadget.
Give me the name.
I can't tell you, but you'll have to protect me.
Oh, directly into the brainstem. That dude is dead. I have no idea what's happening, and I don't think we're meant to know quite yet. He is jumping out the window. Love the bit of visual humor here. MI6 headquarters. We all recognize this building. Looks like he did collect the money. Speaking of money, Moneypenny.
I know exactly where to put that.
Oh, Moneypenny.
The man who retrieved my money. I can't thank you enough. Excellent work.
Construction's not exactly my speciality.
Quite the opposite, in fact.
Destruction.
We read law at Oxford together. He's a man of great integrity.
We'll buy stolen reports for £3 million.
Well, when a movie tells you a man is full of integrity, you know it's probably the opposite.
King, the money.
Oh, explosion. So the money was rigged with an explosive? Was she the assassin? And where is Q, by the way? Oh, there he is. I love Q. We were getting a speedboat chase after quite a while. Thrusters. I mean, Bond's got the speed advantage, but she's got the size advantage. Driving straight into machine gun fire, smart. An amazing stunt, by the way. I think we're hearing some new composition on top of the traditional Bond theme, which I like. Oh, it's a makeshift submarine. Just hold your breath as long as you're underwater. Millions of dollars in damages. Just like that. Nice.
Who are you working for? Don't do it! I can protect you!
Not from him!
Oh, holy crap! She just blew herself up. Her blowing herself up means that whoever she was scared of is very intimidating. Okay, that's one way to show it. Denise Richards. That's a name I recognize. And I've never heard of this director before, by the way. Michael Apted.
We know it was someone close to King, and our only lead committed suicide on that balloon.
We will not be terrorized by cowards who would murder an innocent man and use us as the tool.
It is kind of personal for M.
Dislocated collarbone.
Molly.
Shall we?
Just taking her clothes off during a physical, and she's obviously wearing lingerie.
The shirt's sufficient.
I mean, she probably dressed up because she had an appointment with Bond. That's the only way this makes sense.
Something you destroyed. My fishing boat.
That was a fishing boat.
As I was saying, the very latest in intercepts and countermeasures. Titanium armor.
We're at the BMW sponsored phase of Bond's journey. The last couple of cars, they've all been BMWs.
What? You said...
I like that there's some humor.
You're not retiring anytime soon,
Oh man.
are you?
Oh man, is this his last film? I'm gonna miss him when he's gone. Ooh, Elektra is the daughter of King.
Shouted all the time.
Looks like she's been kidnapped before.
After Elektra King was kidnapped, her father tried to deal with it on his own. As you are aware, we do not negotiate with terrorists.
That's the rhetoric.
I told him not to pay the ransom.
You used the girl as bait.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
Yes.
Your terrorist is back.
Hologram.
Victor Zokas. Elektra escaped. A week later, our man caught up with the target. He put a bullet in his head.
The bullet will kill him, but he'll grow stronger every day until the day he dies.
I mean, that's a supervillain if I've ever heard one. Can feel no pain.
I see the good doctor has cleared you.
Of course she has.
Notes you have exceptional stamina.
I'm sure she was touched by his dedication to the job in hand.
If your instincts are right, Renard will be back. And Elektra will be the next target.
Interesting. And we're at a new location, Azerbaijan. And you cannot have a Bond movie without a helicopter.
Miss King, I told you to stay!
what you told me. Send the pipe around.
It's going to take weeks. Your father approved this route.
Then my father was wrong. Do it.
I don't know what she agreed to, but the local seems happy.
Em told me she was sending someone. Mister?
Bond. James Bond.
The new pipeline will guarantee our future. But it would be a crime to destroy what little is left of our past.
Quite the diplomat, are we?
Have you ever lost a loved one, Mr. Bond?
Tracy.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to check the survey lines.
I've always wanted to check the survey lines.
Yeah, I like these wide landscape shots.
So this is where they meet. The two ends of the pipeline. Your father's legacy.
My family's legacy.
The music suggests something bad is about to happen. This is what I'm here for, by the way. The spectacle. The explosions.
See you back at the lodge.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Another fantastic aerial shot.
Don't go. Stay with me.
You'll be safe here.
I don't want to be safe.
I don't know what she meant by that. I don't want to be safe. X-rays through glasses.
Mr. Zukovsky will be delighted to see you. After you.
No. After you. I insist.
Bond, James Bond.
We've seen him in GoldenEye.
What are you doing here?
The same thing you are.
By the ace of clubs.
Okay.
No hard feelings, my dear. Come again soon.
She doesn't look disappointed at all. If I lost $1 million, even if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be too happy about it.
Mr. Arkov supplied the latest weapons.
Yes, but Bond...
Bond was unarmed. Kill him. He failed his test of devotion.
I just realized Davidoff is secretly working for Renard. So is Davidoff the inside man? Of course. Why am I not surprised? They're in bed together.
Looks painful.
Surprise!
What happened to Davidoff? I was told to expect him.
He was buried with work.
Okay, he's taking the place of Davidoff now. We're in Kazakhstan now.
I pulled the plutonium out of the one inside. You can detonate the triggers now.
Denise Richards! I like this. I like these dark sets. It's been so fun to watch the evolution of Bond movies.
Expecting Davidoff?
You can't kill me. I'm already dead.
What's your plan for the bomb?
You first. Or could it be you don't have a plan?
That's a very early confrontation between the main villain and Bond.
She's beautiful, isn't she? Oh. You should have had her before. You had me. But I knew you couldn't shoulder the responsibility.
How did he know to go directly for the shoulder? Nice stunt work. I mean, the pyrotechnic work in Bond films is always stellar.
My head of security has been found near your local airstrip, murdered.
Surprise?
James?
Surprised? He and I had a little chat this morning. Knew all about us. Knew about my shoulder.
She is suspicious now, and Bond sees it.
The captive falls in love with her captor.
How dare you? You had a sling on your arm at the funeral, and I didn't have to sleep with you to find that out.
With all due respect, I don't think you should be here.
You disobeyed a direct order and left that girl alone.
Perhaps that girl isn't as innocent as you think.
Exactly, Bond.
You know how to drive one of these things?
Doesn't exactly take a degree in nuclear physics.
I mean, she's digging herself into a bigger hole, man.
It's closing up! Faster!
Some of the shots in the oil pipeline, they're clearly CGI, but they're pretty well hidden, I have to admit. Yeah, I knew it. Elektra's up to no good. The explosion was worth it, though.
He often spoke of how compassionately you advised him on the best course of action during my kidnapping.
I knew it. She remembers that M used her
It's very valuable, you know.
as bait. And she just admitted to killing her own father because that was the real pin.
Take her to the helicopter.
So I'm guessing Elektra's the real villain and Renault is the henchman?
She thinks we're dead and she thinks she got away with it.
What do we do now?
Oh, we're in Istanbul, Turkey. We're visiting different locations after quite a while, exotic ones. What's their plan, though?
I've brought something for you as well.
You ruined her. For what? To get to me.
It's your fault because you left her to a man like me. Crazy.
By noon tomorrow, your time is up, and I guarantee you, I will not miss.
Well, at least the stakes are real. M's life is in actual danger.
He was a good lover.
What do you think? I wouldn't feel anything.
I mean, this villain constantly has to prove that he doesn't feel stuff by smashing things.
I'll call security and congratulate them. Drink? Can't you just say hello like a normal person?
That was a great one-liner.
What's your business with Elektra King?
I thought you were the one giving her the business.
Zinger! It's that helicopter with a chainsaw we saw earlier. Oh, yes! That's not a miniature, I think. Goodbye, BMW.
My nephew is in the Navy. He's smuggling some machinery for her.
Where? Istanbul!
What class is your nephew running?
Victor 3, you call it.
Nuclear. He's not loading cargo. They want the sub. They want to use the reactor.
Oh, she wants to monopolize oil.
Here.
Yeah, Maiden's Tower.
Have you been there?
After you. I insist.
Classic moment in every Bond film where he's caught. And I really hope he's about to get tortured in some crazy fashion before he makes his escape. That has to happen. I mean, she's clearly using him, and she admitted to using her body before. She used Bond as well, so this must be no different.
I could have given you the world.
The world.
The world is not enough.
Foolish sentiment.
That was perfect.
I told him he had to hurt me.
He's actually a competent
He had to
villain.
make it look real.
You killed your father.
He killed me.
It's not too late.
This is a different kind of intimidating. Oh, dude! He's actually here to help Bond! Goodbye, henchman.
So glad to see you.
Me too. I'm looking for a submarine. It's big and black, and the driver is a very good friend of mine.
He's just gone.
Oh no.
Zukovsky really hated you.
Exactly the opposite.
Call him off.
Cut him off!
You wouldn't kill me. You'd miss me.
It's not gonna work on him again.
Yes.
He tried to squeeze the life
Die,
out of
Bond!
him. Just like that. I actually liked how she was eliminated.
James!
Thought I'd forgotten you, eh?
I mean, what's the plan now? What's he going to do with the plutonium? Just blow it up here? Great to see Bond underwater again. Come on! Bond could have just broken his neck and ended it right there, but nope.
James!
commit suicide for her.
You forget. I'm already dead.
Right, he's on a timer.
So is she.
Looks like he actually had feelings for her, for real.
She's waiting for you!
Killed by plutonium, but he didn't feel a thing. Wow.
Any word?
No, still no contact.
There.
I thought you said he was with Dr. Jones.
I knew it. The film couldn't have ended in any other way.
007.
Oh, the end. Bond will return. That was fun. What's the next one? Die Another Day. Okay. I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was very entertaining. Another entry into the Bond franchise. But this has to be one of the weaker films in my opinion. It had its strengths like the action, the set pieces, the gadgets, locations, the score, the first female Bond villain, and of course, Brosnan as Bond. But the main weaknesses had to be the convoluted plot, the poor execution of it, and most importantly, the fact that I couldn't buy Denise Richard's character as a nuclear physicist. It's already making me laugh. Let's start with the directing by Michael Apted and the screenplay by Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and Bruce Fierstein. Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. Unfortunately, I have to say this was one of the weaker plots in the James Bond franchise. I mean, the premise was fine. It involved all the right things like Russians, nuclear weapons, eccentric villains, great locations, and a good mix of action. But the execution of the story falls short. It was confusing. In my opinion, the fault in the execution lies mostly in the director. I don't believe I've heard or seen any films from this director before, so do let me know if he made any solid films worth watching. The writers did have pretty good ideas that worked well though. For example, the twist involving Elektra, revealing that she's the real villain, the whole Stockholm Syndrome subplot. And speaking of Elektra, I thought Sophie Marceau's performance was great. She was gorgeous, her acting was layered, and I honestly did have a hard time in figuring out her character's motivations. I believe she was the first female Bond villain, and she was a solid villain at that. But I really wish she had more to work with, script-wise, if that makes any sense. The secondary villain, who turned out to be an unintentional henchman, Renard, was also interesting in theory, but I felt like his character was a little one-dimensional. He kept hurting himself for no apparent reason, but to show that he didn't feel anything. I also have to say the subplot involving M's kidnapping, that wasn't very well done. It was kept to a minimum. They could have done so much with it. They could have made it personal for Bond, but he acknowledges her kidnapping in one sentence, and then he shoots the lock to rescue her, and she's out. I really didn't feel any fear for her life at any point in the movie, so make of that what you will. The one-liners in this film, they were hilarious, especially from the ones from Robbie Coltrane's Zukovsky. Even Bond had some great zingers in there too, so the one-liners were solid. The action set pieces were some of the highlights of the entire movie. The set piece at Zukovsky's Caviar Factory was probably the best one. The helicopter stunts in that scene were pretty freaking great. So was the entire skiing scene. Another aspect I really appreciated was the gadgets and the miniature work here, especially that sub at the end. That was very well made. The location choices in the movie were also varied, and I appreciated the fact that we visited places that we haven't seen before, like Spain or the Caspian Sea. So great stuff there. Most of the stunt work from this team was also very in line with the franchise, so no complaints in that department too. Let's talk a little about Denise Richards Dr. Christmas Jones. I barely remember her name. I actually had to look it up from the credits. Although her line delivery was fine, I mean, she was in Starship Troopers, she wasn't bad in that. It was not award-worthy by any means, though. The main issue I had with her character was the writing. I don't buy that she was a nuclear physicist by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get me wrong, physicists don't have to have a certain look, if you know what I mean, but they have to be written as believable characters, man. I didn't think her character had any agency at all. I felt like she was just there for the plot's sake, taking a backseat as Bond had to rescue her several times. I don't know, her character was weakly written. Elektra, on the other hand, the main villain, compared to Dr. Christmas Jones, she was excellently written and portrayed. She was one of the, she was very attractive, but probably my least favorite Bond girl. Dr. Christian Jones, I mean. Pierce Brosnan as Bond was great as usual. I wouldn't say this was as good as his performance in GoldenEye or even Tomorrow Never Dies for that matter, but he was very believable as Bond. And his performance was more than satisfactory here. His physical performance was definitely better than the later Roger Moore movies. I mean, Roger Moore was so old, he didn't do any of his stunts by the end. And I actually like the fact that Brosnan did a lot of his own stunts, and you could see that. I don't think Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond so far, but we still have one more movie from him, so I still have some time to make up my mind. Finally, the music in the movie was solid, but nothing spectacular. The score was used pretty appropriately, and I did hear some original compositions for this one. That's always a good thing. The sound design was better than average, especially during the action set pieces and the explosions. Oh, I love good pyrotechnics. I'm sure it's clear by now. Good stuff as usual from the production end. As I have mentioned my criticisms, I've talked about it extensively. Overall, The World Is Not Enough was a very entertaining Bond movie, but definitely one of the weaker entries into the franchise. Apart from the spectacle, I don't think this film has too much to offer. It doesn't have too much substance behind the story. The action was great, so were the stunts, gadgets, locations, Brosnan's Bond, and Sophie Marceau's Elektra, the first female Bond villain, by the way. On the other hand, the plot was convoluted, and Denise Richard's character wasn't believable at all as a nuclear physicist. I still am very excited for Brosnan's final performance as Bond in Die Another Day, so hopefully that movie is an improvement over this one. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page, considering a Patreon. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.